Now it's time to give Ririe and its Kokanee Salmon a chance. Last year wasn't a good year for ice as it just didn't get cold enough. But this year the ice formed and fishing got hot real quick. At least that's what the word was. So after school one day, I took the kids out for a quick try for kokanee. Word was they were pretty shallow, just 10 to 20 feet deep, and the fishing had been hot during the day when we showed up. After finding some holes from fishermen that already limited out, we quickly put a few lines, and sure enough, in not too long a time at all, Abby picked up a school of kokanee right underneath. She was getting lots of bites, but just couldn't get one hooked. After several failed attempts, a pole a few feet away got hit, and this time she got the hook set.
Got it? Hey, there you go! It's a kokanee. First one. Okay, we gotta hurry and get it back in there. Okay. No. Oh. Alright, we'll let it go. I meant this.
I meant just put the hook back in the water, but she thought I meant the fish.
I got the first fish of the day and it was a kokanee, but my dad said to put it back in the water. I wasn't sure if he meant the pole or the fish, and I put the fish back in the water. So we weren't able to get on tape, but I'm pretty proud of myself.
With kokanee, when you have a school of fish under you, you want to fish as quickly as you can because when they're gone, and then it's a waiting game again. And sure enough, this school of fish didn't hang out much longer after Abby's first catch. Then we noticed that everyone else that was fishing, which was probably about a dozen or more groups, all stopped catching fish. We fished for another hour, but never even saw a group swim under us with a fish finder. Watching across the ice, we could tell the fishing had completely shut down everywhere. By the time we packed up and left, we were some of the last ones on the ice. Even though the fishing was slow, the kids had fun.
You little punk.
If today was any sign of what it normally is like, the bite at Ririe, at least today, shuts off at about 4 p.m. We'd have to come earlier in the day the next time, and that's exactly what we did. 1 week later we were back, but this time we got there around noon. People were catching fish, that was apparent, so hopefully we could get in on the action. With so many other fishermen, we headed off to the edge of the group and got all our poles in. About a half hour into it, Riley saw the tip of a pole go down and he grabbed it, setting the hook. With the fish on, it looked like we might actually get into some kokanee.
Oh, you got a trout.
Well, this is the first fish of the day. It's not a kokanee, so we're pretty bummed about that, but at least it's something.
We watched a group not too far from us catch kokanee after kokanee, but we just couldn't seem to get any schools coming our direction. After about an hour of watching others catch fish, I heard Abby yelling from inside the ice hut.
This fish, it popped out of this one and came over here.
Let me see it. What do you got? Oh, you got a kokanee. That's a kokanee, guys. Get digging.
But that was my pole. Well, me and my brothers were playing tag, and I decided I wanted to go see what this pole was up to. And I realized the pole wasn't going to reel in, so I hurried and made it so it was. And then there was a fish on it, so I hurried and reeled it in. This is the first kokanee of the day for us.
Once again, it was all quiet. At this point, we didn't have any action until a few hours later, just as we were finally getting ready to go. Suddenly, with the fish finder, I marked a small school of kokanee swim under us, the first group of the day, and so all the kids started jigging a pole. Luke, however, was the only one to get any bites.
Oh, you can see, hey, there you go. Hurry and get it off and get dropped back down.
As you can see, it was a pretty small fish.
Well, as we were packing up, there was a little school that came through, and it's not the biggest of fish, but at least we have some action, and we'll give it a little bit longer and see if we can get any more.
So the lesson today was, for some reason, it mattered where you were. We were close to others catching fish, but we still weren't in the right spot. It definitely was not the day we'd hoped for. Well, a few days later, our friend Jason Hells let me know he was going to be taking a couple of his kids to Ririe and invited me along. As I had some free time, I figured it was worth a try to see if we could hit it at the right time and place. We met up not long after first light and found that even though it was a weekday, there were lots of other fishermen already on the ice. After being on the lake a couple other times watching others catch fish, I had an idea of where the fishing ought to be okay, and sure enough, in no time at all, schools of kokanee were swimming under us and hitting some of our lines. We all missed a few hits as their bites were so light, but eventually Jason set the hook on the first kokanee.
I think it's either kokanee.
There we are. That's a good one.
Nice job, Dad.
First kokanee of the day.
That's nice.
Let's go catch some more.
It seemed the fish didn't go too far, as pretty soon they were back under us, with Rachel fighting her first.
Here you go.
It's a big guy.
Come on, girly.
Feels big.
Coming.
Maybe you got the king. Oh, pretty fish.
Awesome.
Kokanee.
He's a big guy.
That's a pretty one, huh? They got pretty colors, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, that's cool.
There you go. Want to give me a kiss?
You have to kiss your first salmon.
Come on.
Got my first fish.
We weren't done yet, as there were more fish being marked on the fish finder, and sure enough, with a little bit of jigging, another kokanee took the bait.
Oh yeah. There we go.
Kokanee, I think.
Yep, that's kokanee.
This is my first kokanee.
Then the fish were gone, but luckily, maybe 15 minutes later, another bunch of fish sounded off the fish finder, and it was back to the poles. In stark contrast to our last two trips out to Ririe, the bite stayed like this all morning. There would be 10, 20, 30-minute breaks every now and then, but overall, the fish just kept working through the area, so there weren't too many lulls in the action.
Yeah.
Alright. Oh, these are good size.
That's our allowed to reel them in every once in a while.
He's a great guy.
There we go.
Even Jason's buddy Corey, that dropped by for just a bit, was able to pull in his fair share of kokanee in just an hour or so of fishing. Just playing with it, yep. Just kind of weighed, it was just nibbling on it. Yeah, they're still just thick all over. Yep. That's a nice one.